What's up, guys? Welcome to your 34th Android tutorial for the new Boston, again with me, Travis. What we're going to do in this tutorial is I'm going to introduce you guys to what implementing means. And just for a minute, imagine an application that we set up and it has a ton of buttons and they're all going to be set clickable. So we're going to use this onClick method. And as you can see, we're setting our set onClick listener, and then basically just so we can use this onClick method. And if we had like 20 buttons, this would be kind of tedious and boring to set it up this way, and as well as it adds a ton of code to our class. So basically we can clean this up by just having one onClick listen or onClick method and kind of defining what we want to do within there. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll up to the top of our class, and it says extends activity. And again, when we extend a class, we can use some of the methods. But what we can also do is we can implement a class. So we're going to say implement, and you do that by saying implements, and then you say the class that we're going to implement. And again, we're going to implement the view onClick listener class, so we can basically use the method from that class. So again, we're just going to say view dot onClick listener. There we go. And basically it's giving us an error because anytime we implement something, we have to use all of the methods from that class. Again, when we extend something, we can use the methods from that class, but when we implement, we have to. So that's why it's giving us an error. So if we hover over a class name, it says add unimplemented methods. We're just going to click that, and then if we scroll down to our bottom, again, just kind of like when we set up a method in the last tutorial, it's going to create a new method for us right below that method. And it's called onClick. Basically, that's the same method as right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a switch in case to determine which button has been pressed. So again, this is just kind of a review on the switch in case, but this is also going to kind of introduce you guys to passing in data. I know we did this with our list view, but when this onClick method is called, it gives us which view was pressed. And again, like a button's a view, a text view is a view, all that stuff's a view. So what we can say is v, because they labeled this view, that's the data that they're giving us. For example, we could also say label it view because that's kind of just like a variable, and then we can reference that variable within these brackets. So we're going to say view and hit dot, and we're going to say get ID. And that's going to give us the ID that we set up in the XML of whatever view was pressed. And that's what we're going to look for our switch in case, and then we're just going to hit set up a bracket, and we're going to set up two cases because we have two buttons. So we're going to say if the case is r.id. Button results, which was our our command button for the most part, we're going to do whatever is right here, and we're going to hit break. And if it was the case that, the case of r.id.toggle button password, we're going to do whatever is in here. Again, we set up a break to break the switch, and I'll leave this on for 1 second. Now all we're going to do is transfer our code that we set up within our onClick methods up above. So we have this is our check command, so we're just going to copy whatever we put in within this onClick method, which is basically that string and all that other good stuff. Just copy that, and we're going to paste it below. And I grabbed one extra bracket, so you want to do it right here. Copy this, and again, this is for our results, so we're going to say v right there, and then we're just going to kind of delete it out of this onClick listener for the most part. And now it's going to pass in some information, and if it's the ID of basically our check command ID, it's going to do basically that onClick method that we just set up there. Then we're also going to do that with this onClick method as well. So we're just going to copy that or cut that and paste it for if our toggle button was pressed. And then we're just going to kind of clean up some of this code. And instead of doing a new view, we're going to just say, because it's looking for a on-click listener so we can use our on-click method. So now what we can do is we can type this. For the context of our class, this. So it's going to look for through our class and say, hey, we're looking for a view on-click listener. And it's going to be like, oh, we implemented that and we can use the on-click method. So now this button is going to refer to this on-click method that we set up. And we got that because we implemented it, and then it's going to give us some data for which view was pressed, and if it's the check command ID, it's going to do basically what we set up in our on-click listener before. So again, all we have to do is just type this as well, and look how much cleaner our onCreate method is. Basically, it's only 3 lines of code, and then it refers to either our on-click method or our bacon and eggs method. So that's kind of how Java programming works for the most part. You guys can implement methods, and that way it kind of cleans up the code. And we're just going to check and make sure this works, as always, because it's good to check and check frequently for the most part. So hopefully you guys understood that tutorial for the most part. Again, it's just about implementing for the most part, and when we implement, we have to use all the methods from that class. So this class only has one method, which is called onClick. So again, we're just going to make sure it works by typing WTF, and it looks like it's good. So thanks again for watching, guys. We're going to be kind of implementing some more stuff as we go, but we're going to create a new application in the next tutorial. So thanks again, and have a good day.